5 short years ago, or maybe it's long years ago, we're about to find out, Peyton Sweet was learning welding at Tulsa Welding School, and today he's running his own fabrication business. But building something with your hands and building a business, those are two completely different things. Because when the customer's waiting and the deadlines are real and the money's tight, the failure all lands on you. And welding, well, that becomes the easy part. So today on Skilled Nation, we're sitting down with Peyton Sweet of Sweets Fabrication to talk about welding, fabrication, entrepreneurship, and what it really takes to turn a skill into an actual bona fide business.
Welcome to Skilled Nation, where hard work meets real opportunity. From welding and electrical to HVAC and the trades that keep this country running, this is where skills turn into careers. Skilled Nation is sponsored by Tulsa Welding School. It's a way of life, a badge of honor.
Peyton, welcome to Skilled Nation.
Thank you for having me.
All right, 5 years ago, well, 5 short years ago or long years ago, how's it feel to you?
It's been a long 5 years.
A long 5 years, okay.
Yes.
So you're right now, running a fabrication business. Did you ever have any idea that it would happen this fast? I mean, because 5 years ago, you're just learning the trade.
I had a goal. My goal when I was in school, and you have like the first 3 days of school where your instructor has like a meeting with you and you kind of ask, what's your goal here? My immediate goal was I want to have a business. That was my goal from the start. And it just happened way faster than I thought it would. I thought it was going to take a lot longer.
Did it happen fast because that was the goal from day one? Do you think that
100%.
Okay, 100%.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, because I really applied myself, and any chance I could get to get closer to having that business. It's something that I did.
And now, once you're up and running, you have the vans, you have the logo, you have the company cards, whatever, you have the website. It just looks like a finished product to everybody on the outside. What do people not see behind the curtain, right? What's the reality of building a fabrication business from scratch?
It's a lot. It's a lot. There's multiple parts of it that I would say are tough. Is like the stress is really bad. And the failure, because you're going to fail. If you're starting a business, you're going to fail. And you just got to find your way out of it. That's the hardest part, is finding your way out. But I mean, yeah, I would 100% say that it's I think here.
Can I ask you about failure?
Yeah. So in the beginning, within my first year was good. I did really good for my first year. And then there were times I learned what a slow season was, and I've done videos on that. And the slow season, I didn't prepare for it. I didn't know how to run a business, and I went and I spent money where I shouldn't have, and I went and bought like all this materialistic stuff that I didn't need. And then you get yourself in a hole, and there's nothing you can do.
Okay. So when you talk about failure, right? And you always hear this, I mean, especially now that we have social media and there's all these coaches out there and they put out these memes, right? That you're not growing if you're not uncomfortable, right? And that if you have a fear of failure, you're never going to grow. You're never going to get out of your comfort
I'll tell you
zone.
right now, I've never been comfortable. Not 1 second of it have I been comfortable.
You're really selling this entrepreneurship thing, Peyton.
And the thing is with it, and it's like that. If I go back to a day job, I know I'm going to hate it, and there's pros and cons with either side of it.
Right.
The thing for me, what sells it for me is like the freedom. If I want to go on vacation for a month, I can. As long as I plan for it and I do it correctly, I can go do it. And I'd say if you have a business, what you can do is unlimited. Like, it's as big as you can dream it. And that's why I love doing it, because what I'm doing right now has expanded to something that I could have never even imagined. And I just don't think I would have that same opportunity working a day job.
I want to make sure I'm hearing this right. Would you say that the trade is that you're trading stress for freedom?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that's it, pretty much.
We're talking to Peyton
100%.
Sweet. He's the owner and bears all the stress when it comes to Sweets Fabrication. And let's talk about fabrication. First of all, what's the biggest misconception or the thing that people don't know about welding and fabrication as a career?
So what I'll say is the fabrication side of it, it's really hard to learn in a school. It's really hard for a school to teach you everything that comes with building because there's just so much. And so that's probably going to be your biggest roadblock getting into it is you want to be well versed in the trade. You want to be a welder. You want to be a fabricator. If you can do everything, then you're like a prized possession to anybody. Everybody's going to want you. But fabrication comes with time. There's so much that I didn't know when I was working for somebody because I didn't go straight into having my business. I worked for people before this, and I got out of school, went to work with them, and there was stuff I didn't know. So over time, that's when the fabrication becomes a big part, and that's where you're going to learn it is really in the field.
So wait, does the training, right? The training you get, that creates like a baseline of knowledge and a skill set,
Yes.
but then
Yes.
it gets refined in the field because you're
a hundred
what,
percent.
dealing with a bunch of different
Well, so
situations?
what I'll say is like the schooling will teach you how to weld,
Hmm.
get you ready for welding, gives you all that important knowledge. But then, like, say what I was doing is I built boat docks. So we're doing all of this on the water floating. So you've got a whole different thing of elements that you've got to work around. And some tools don't work in some places. So you've got to find a solution. And that's really what it comes down to. It's just you turn to problem solving. You got to be really good at problem solving to do this.
Okay. And so the field taught you things that school didn't, but even before school, let's back it way up. Like
Yeah.
when you were a kid, is this what you dreamed of? Did you dream of
Yeah.
the welding? Did you dream of the entrepreneurship, or were you just a handy kid? Did you like getting your hands on stuff? What kind of kid were you
I
that?
did. I liked when I was really, really young, I built Legos,
Oh
but
yeah.
I would never build the Legos to the instructions. I'd look at the box and I'd find the cool little parts that I wanted, and then I would build my own thing with those parts. And so that's how I did that. And then going into high school, I did automotive. That's what I enjoyed doing. So I did 4 years of automotive, working on cars and stuff like that. So I'm very good with like hands-on and work like that. But welding didn't come into my life until I was 20 years old. I never touched a welder before that.
So wait, when you were working on cars, you weren't doing any welds on chassis or anything like that? No.
So at my school, we had a welder there, but it's a whole different set of safety,
Okay.
and they weren't necessarily focused on that. If you want to do welding, you need to be in the welding program. And I wanted to do it, but you couldn't do both.
I gotcha. So what
I put
happened
all
at
my
20?
time in. Do what?
What happened at 20? What suddenly like well, pardon the pun, what sparked welding for you?
I met my wife. That's what did it.
Oh.
So there's a funny story behind it. So this is how I got into welding. So I was actually graduated high school, didn't do the mechanic stuff. I just had this burst. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to college and I'm going to be a marine biologist. That's my goal. I get into college and I'm there for 2 weeks. And I'm like, yep, this is definitely not for me. But I met my wife, my wife today. I met her in college, and we were probably dating for 2 or 3 weeks. And her mom calls her and it's like, hey, who's this guy you're dating? What does he do? Is he going to school? No. Does he have a job? No. They're like, what does he do? It was like just a thought, like maybe I'd go to welding school. She threw it out. Oh, he's going to welding school. A week later, I signed up for welding school.
So
That
wait,
is how
your
that,
your entire career started on a lie that your now
yes,
wife, when she was a girlfriend, told her mom so she wouldn't force her to break up with you.
100%. That is exactly why I'm here today is because of that.
All right, listen up, kids. This is how careers happen.
Yeah.
They
And
start they start out as lies you tell the adults, and then you just follow
it's like,
through.
yeah, it's insane to think about, but that's like, because we didn't talk about it much. Like it was just an idea. Like I was throwing around what I wanted to do. The end goal was I wanted to own a business. Like I wanted to do that, but what could it be?
All right, so you wanted to own a business, right? But I think anybody who wants to own a business, they want to know
Yes.
their business inside and out, right? You want to be able to
Yes.
walk the shop floor, work any one of the pieces of equipment, do any of the things you're asking your people to do, so that if they have a problem, you can backstop them, or if they get the flu, you can still get an order out, right?
Exactly.
So if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to start a business, you want to start a business as something where you are interested in kind of the content and purpose of the business.
Yes,
So
100%.
so you
That's
had
a
to
big
like
thing.
welding, right? You had to like it before you could say this is what I'm going to do a
Yes,
business
100.
in.
Yeah. Like, I mean, when I was in school, I loved it. Like, as soon as I started doing it, I just loved it because I love making stuff. And when I got the skills down and I was able to like go home and make things, that's where it really started. I'm like, as soon because I was in school and I'm like, okay, what can I put together and what can I sell?
Yeah.
There's got to be something I can make and something I can sell.
And what was
So
that?
that's what started it all.
What'd you sell?
Roses. I made metal roses.
Okay. Well, those won't wilt. Good thinking.
Yeah. And that they did, I mean, in school, they did like really good. I sold them while I was in school.
Okay, smart. And tell me
And
about
that's,
your
and I still do the roses to this day.
tell me about the school experience. How'd you get there? How was the intake? How was the support? Tell me all about it. Where'd you go?
So I went to Tulsa Welding School in the Houston campus. I went to Tulsa because it was the closest to home. So my family lived in Humble. So and I didn't want to go pay for housing, so I moved in with my grandparents and I was going to Tulsa while living with them. And all the other courses in the area were all like pay out of pocket. And I
Mhm.
had no money. Like I literally had nothing. Tulsa was the only one where I could pull like FAFSA loans and just loans to get into a school. So that's why I jumped on that one because that's the only option I had. I couldn't afford to pay out of pocket for like fast track classes. Um, and I think the way they did this school was really nice too, because like your first 3 days is like an introduction. So like your safety, you meet your instructor, they ask like, what do you want to do with this? And then after that, you're in the shop. I mean, you're welding for the next 7 months. You're never going back in a classroom. They teach you everything on the floor. And then I'll say too, my instructor was a huge part in what I do today. And I'm still in contact with him. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. 100%.
So it wasn't just an instructor relationship. Sounds like it became a mentorship.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. He really, like, I really learned about myself through him. Like, he really showed me some things about myself. And I like owe him a ton for doing that.
So you thought you were going to be a marine biologist, and a couple of weeks on campus, you were like, "Oh, no,
Yeah, no.
no, pull the plug on this." And yet, you had a great first experience. When did you know? When was the moment that you just were like, "I really enjoy this"? And what about it did you enjoy?
So what I would say, like, when I decided, like, this is what I want to do is really when I was like probably halfway through the program and I learned how to do it. I learned how to weld and I immediately started putting money like towards equipment, like so I could have a welder at home. And I was just doing like small stuff for like family and friends and the roses were their whole thing. And it's like, okay, I can make money doing this. Like this is a viable income. It's possible. And so that's when I just did the full shift and I'm like, this, I'm 100%. And I just love doing it. Like even to this day, like every project I do, yeah, some of them are hard, but like I have a passion for it and I really love what I do. So it's like every day I'm working, it's not really working.
Yeah,
It's all fun.
started with Legos, went to welding. You can't weld
Yep.
Legos, by the way.
Mm-mm. Cannot do that.
I know things, Peyton. We're talking to Peyton Sweet. He's the owner of Sweets Fabrication. And you know what? We keep talking about welding, and yet it's not Sweets Welding, it's Sweets Fabrication.
Yes.
Define fabrication, and what does it have to do with welding, if anything?
So fabrication, and I've always said like this will make you stand out. If you can build something, you are of value because there's a ton of people that weld really good, but all they can do is show up and weld on something. You go to somebody, hey, I need you to build this within a certain tolerance. It needs to look good, this and this and that. And then I need you to put really nice welds into it. You're like top tier. But yeah, the fabrication just goes into all of the building, like looking at prints and I mean we don't have to talk about prints. You got to be creative. So like with me, like customer will come to me and say, hey, I want this. It's my job to bring it to life. They're giving me words and I have to spit out a picture and then make it happen in real life. To me, that's what fabrication is.
Can you tell me what that looks like? I mean, so somebody says, I have this component and here are the parameters. It needs to fit in this space, but it also needs to hold this much weight. It needs to interact with this other part of the structure. It needs to, I mean, this sounds like there are engineering challenges, there's math
Yes.
involved, tolerances, knowing about load bearing, which are
Yes.
certain kinds of algorithms you got to know. So, are you using CAD? You're not just hand drawing this, right? What does
No,
that process look
I
like?
do, I hand draw it. So what
Oh,
I
you hand
do,
draw. Okay.
well, so there's there's ways you can do it on a computer and like you can do a 3D rendering, but this is the part we're talking about, like it's a business. I have to do it in a way that's efficient because
Mhm.
if I sit here on a computer for 6 hours, I'm not including that in my bid because it would be too expensive. So then I'm losing money doing that. So the way that I would do it and like load bearing stuff like that, before I build anything, I do research. Like I look up the type of material that I'm going to be using and I plan accordingly for that. So I'll pick the correct size material. And then also too, like in the area, there's a ton of people that do what I do all around Texas. They all do it. So you can look at somebody's structure and say, hey, I can match that. They're all built very similar. All the weather is very much the same, unless you get like down on the coast and you got hurricanes, but everything is pretty similar. So you just kind of follow how everybody's building it. But usually what I do is I don't do that. I always go like above and beyond. I want to build it way stronger than it needs to be. So that's the problem is like I'll usually turn down the cheaper stuff you'd say, and I want to do the more expensive stuff because I want it to last and I want it to be nice.
Okay. And so, what's the reality check there, right? Because you're bringing up an interesting point. As the business owner, right, you got to think about revenue, time,
Yep.
expenditures. How much time am I giving away for free creating a bid that I may or may not get? Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
So how do you factor all that in? And also that seems like completely outside of the Tulsa Welding School training, or did they give you a heads up that this was coming down the pike?
So there wasn't any because I mean, their goal is not to get you to run a business.
Hmm.
You want to go, you want to jump in and go weld in the refineries and stuff like that. And those, by all means, are good paying jobs, 100%. It's just never something that I really had an interest in. Um, yeah, it's just,
So talk about those hours, like considering, like like putting in a
yes.
bid. That's one of the ones that I see when I talk to small business owners is the amount of time it takes to get paying work, but you don't get paid to bid for
Exactly.
paying work. How do you balance that? How do you know
So
whether it's worth it to even go for it?
I get like a million questions, a million, like not a million, but a ton of DMs and people asking me like, how do you do this? How, and they all are the same thing is like, how do you bid a job?
Hmm.
And it's the same question I had when I got out of school because I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, how do you bid a job? Well, the short answer is it just takes time and it takes a loss. You're going to lose money at some point, and then that's how you'll learn how to price things. And so what I do now, in the beginning, I was very like particular about how I did it, and I'd go down to like the penny and just try to do everything I could. But I'd spend 3 days on a bid, and then I lose it, and now all that time is wasted.
Hmm.
So now, with time, the longer you do it, you can look at something and know how long it's going to take you. And I kind of have an idea of in my business what my minimum would be or what I would charge per day, labor wise. And of course, it'll change like per job. If it's like super intricate, it's going to be more money. Um, so yeah, the doing that, like the pricing of it, it's all over the place. Honestly, it really is all over the place. But throughout time, you will learn how to do it.
So it's not,
That's
it's reps. It's like anything else. It's like
yes,
getting
100%. Yeah,
it's getting the
it's
reps on
reps.
it,
It's
and
yeah, it's
soon,
practice.
yeah.
And but here's the thing too is it's a struggle because you have to go along with the economy.
Oh, yeah. That's a
That's a so
completely
right now.
externalized force that you have no control over.
Yeah. So right now it's really hard because prior to this, like say 3 months ago, the way my bid would look is you'd have material cost.
Mhm.
My labor would probably be double the material, and then a little bit on top is what it would look like. But now with fuel prices rising and steel prices rising, material has now doubled on its own.
Right.
So then I double that and add some. It's just nobody, you can't afford it. So you have to figure out ways around it to keep work flowing.
That's rough. Yeah, because that's eating into your margin. And
Yes.
so when things like this happen, or when things that have happened in the past, was there ever a time, because you talked about you have to have a tolerance for failure or else you're
Yes.
never going to start a business. Was there ever a time though where you just thought, you know what? I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah. I hit a point and I'll be completely open about it. I'm not going to sit here and say that my business is perfect and I have no issues because I want people to know like what you're getting into. There was a time when my business was not doing well and I was like real close to throwing the towel in. And what I did is I got on Indeed and I started looking for jobs. Like I was really about to do it. Started looking. I found a instructing position at a local community college, and it was like not even part time. It's only on Saturdays, but you can go in during the week and like pick up hours to make a little bit of extra money. I went in, gave them my resume, and they like offered me like a pretty decent amount of money to do it. And I'm like, okay. So I took that. So in that time, the money was a huge, huge deal. Like that one thing floated me like through my business going down 100%.
Okay.
And I still do it to this day.
But at some point, right, you decided this doesn't mean I'm pulling the plug on the business. And
Yes.
what convinced you to persevere?
So honestly, it was going to the school and like, because this was my first time teaching outside of like when like through my career, first time teaching, going back and like seeing the students and teaching them and just like because you got business that comes in and I just like you lose the excitement because there's just so much like
Yeah.
adulting stuff you got to do. It's not just welding at school anymore. But when I go to the school and I'm teaching these students, I see like the excitement in their eyes and it brings it back to me. Like it lights me up seeing them and it brings me back and makes me want to work even harder.
Peyton, that sounds full circle because you had an instructor that you say to this day remains a mentor to you, and now you're
Yes,
doing that for other people. How's that feel?
100%.
That's like total
That's
circle.
why that's why I do it. Like I feel I would not be where I'm at today without him, so I want to be that for somebody else.
It's the circle of life. Let's talk about, we're talking, by the way, everybody, with Peyton Sweet, owner of Sweets Fabrication, and he's very, very much an open book about his journey as a business owner. You know, you have customers, you have deadlines, you have equipment. Do you have staff? Do you have people working for
So
you, or how's that working out?
it depends. I usually run by myself. I like to do majority of my jobs alone,
Mm-hmm.
but I do have like a close group of people that I will hire to go work with me. And that's honestly with the teaching job is I have students and the course that I teach is 8 weeks long.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a long course, but if they're with me, I can get them enough knowledge in 8 days total class time to get a job outside of the program. And so I've sent some of them off and they're still doing their welding today. Like they're doing really, really good. And then some of them I'll even bring on with me. Like, hey, do you want to come
Yeah.
see what I do? And so I use it as like a scouting program. It works out really well.
That is smart thinking right there. Because
Yes,
yeah, I mean, you could see who really has an enthusiasm for it, who's really
100%.
detail oriented.
Yeah,
So
they're
now with that perspective though, you've been a student, you've learned. Now you're teaching other people, and now you have a business, and sometimes you're bringing some of those people on, maybe on a freelance or a job basis. What stands out? So people listening, when they want to know, how do I stand out? What, from your perspective, makes a young welder or any tradesperson really stand out? That they're good, that an employer such as yourself would. That's a person. That's a man or a woman that I need to bring on.
so the most important thing for me is I need to see that you want it. Like, what are you willing to do to have this? You want your life to change. How bad do you want it? So, if I could give any advice, I just had this happen recently. There was uh, somebody that reached out to me. They wanted like a job, and I'm not necessarily hiring. And I kind of blew it off like it was a one time thing. He texted me again, and he texted me again, and he texted me. He hounded me. And I'm like, this kid wants it. So now I'm going to give him a shot. He's going to come and work with me. So that's my biggest advice is I'd say hound whoever you're trying to get a job with, hound them because that will it don't think you're annoying at all. Don't ever
Okay.
think you're annoying because that shows them that you want it. And I've done that through all my jobs. My dad taught me that when I was younger. Is like hound them, text them, email them, do everything you can because they're not going to see you unless you make yourself present.
That is great advice. And that's coming from Peyton Sweet, who is the owner of a business. So he would know Sweets Fabrication. Okay, so you're pretty young still. I mean, a
Yes.
lot of people your age, they're still trying to figure out what they're doing, with their life. And you have a direction. You are, killing the game. And do you think it made you grow up faster than your peers? Like when you look around at the people that, you were going to school with or that you were in high school with, I mean, are you different?
Yeah, 100%. It's tough. It is tough doing it, like being a business owner, and because I have friends from high school, and you try to hang out with them or they come up and visit, and it's like, hey, I don't have free time. Like I work. If you want to hang out with me, me and you are gonna go do a job together. That's how we hang out because I don't have time. So that's been like the biggest hurdle with friends. It's just like I've grown up and it's like the only thing that matters to me in this world is like this business.
Yeah.
Like I dedicate all my time to it, everything I can. It goes beyond the business. Like people that there's because now that we have the social media, people look up to me. And I feel like it's my responsibility to talk to these people because when I was starting, I didn't have anybody to talk to. There was rarely anybody that would answer me on like Instagram, the big influencers at the time. It was hard to reach out to them. A lot of them didn't answer. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be different. I want to reach out to these guys and I want to show them that I'm here and I can help them.
All right. I want to talk about the community that you're building online for sure, but I have one more
Yeah.
question about what percentage of your brain would you say is still welder, and what percentage of your brain is entrepreneur, business owner? And how do they communicate? I mean, because sometimes you said you're going out on jobs alone, so it's just you. So it's like you're kind of your own boss. But how does Peyton welder talk to Peyton business owner?
It's tricky, man. It really is tricky, like trying to balance the two. But I will say, like, I'll say welding for me is like probably 25 to 30% of the time is me welding. And that's like the time that I enjoy the most. Like when I get everything built and constructed and it's all tacked together. And then I'm like, you know what? Now I can just put my headphones in, put my hood down, and just weld. It's like that's the most relaxing part of my day is getting to do that. I love doing that part of it.
I love that you still love the welding.
Oh yeah.
That's great. That that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll still there's sometimes I'll be there and I'm like, I lay a weld down and I'm like, God, that looks good. Like it still makes me like I get real proud of myself and I love it because I remember like what it was in the beginning, and now I can see like my growth and stuff like that. So I really enjoy it.
And it's funny. It's like it's tapping you back into that excitement you're seeing in the students that you're teaching now
Yes,
too.
yes, 100%.
Very full circle. I do want to talk now about this community that you're building. When did you know? Did it start out just like everyone else? Some selfies, some hey, I like this weld. How did it grow? Was it intentional or well? First of all, tell me where you're at online. Tell me how we find you online, and
Yeah, so
what kind of numbers are we talking about? What kind of followers? And then talked about how you stumbled into it. Was it intentional or accidental?
so I will say I'm not going to say it was accidental. It was 100% planned. It
Okay.
was the goal. I wanted to be somebody in the social media space. I always wanted that to be a part of it. So it wasn't accidental. It was planned, and I want to say like it's not luck. We worked really hard. Me and my wife worked really hard to get it where it is. Like it's posting every single day. It's a job in its own.
It is. Yeah.
Um, but all my social media is it's Sweets Fabri. You'll find it's Sweets Fabrication on everything. I'm so glad I locked down the name on
Hmm.
every single platform. So I have it all. It's just Sweets Fabrication. But we got Instagram. I think Instagram's at like 34,000.
Wow.
TikTok's at over 70,000, and Facebook is like 190,000.
Those are fabulous numbers. And so you
Yes.
did it intentionally and you did it with your wife. Talk about that partnership. Like how important is it to have someone other than yourself, right? Who's all in?
Oh, it's like I would not be able to do what I'm doing right now without my wife. There's no way. Like we would not be having this conversation right now. Like
Oh,
it's a big, big, big part of what I do. I mean, all my videos, you can go look at my videos. None of them are my idea. She's the brains. I'm just the face. That's what it is.
we're talking to Peyton Sweet. He's the pretty face on all the Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Do you do any dancing on the TikTok?
I have previously. Yeah. I've been dancing because my wife's ideas. I've had to bust out some moves.
Okay, when your wife comes to you and said, "Hey, we're going to do a TikTok dance," what do you push back, or at this point you just go whatever you
Oh
say?
yeah. Oh yeah, I push back. I'm like, I really don't want to do, but here's the thing is I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like it's embarrassing. And then you post a video and it gets 1 million views. So it's like, okay, I guess I need to dance a little bit. You just kind of got to go with it.
This is fantastic. All right, so do you have a pinch me moment ever? Do you ever have like a I can't believe this has all come together? Because you came
Yeah.
in with a plan when you were going in. You said that first time you sat down with somebody on intake with Tulsa Welding School, you said, I want a business. And you said that it's not an accident that you're on the socials. You knew that was going to be part of building your brand. And now it's all happening. Do you ever just like, because you're in the day to day, you don't have a chance to sit back and think.
That's the hardest part. And that's another struggle with the business is like you'll get so far and you'll accomplish so much and it'll feel like you still have nothing because you get so caught up in it. But that's another thing where my wife comes in. My wife helps me with that. Like really take a step back and see what you have. And I look like everything I wanted in welding school, I have that 5 years later. There's not one goal that I haven't met that I had in school. I've done it all. So now it's just above and beyond where else can I go with it?
You know, you're hinting at something that I'll ask you about. You can answer or not answer, but it almost sounds like there's a I don't want to say a mental health toll, but there's a you better check in with yourself and do some self care too, right?
You have to. You have to, 100%. And that's another thing too, is like I'm very big about mental health regardless. I mean, it could be your business or whatever, but like you can go to therapy. Like I know a lot of men won't go do it, but I will stand behind it and say that you need to. You've got to talk to somebody because the big problem is if you don't do that, you're going to bring that home to your home life.
Yeah.
And you can't put that on your family members. It's not right. So you need to take responsibility yourself and go handle it elsewhere.
Okay. And yeah, that's being a stand up individual who's not going to spread right the problems out.
Exactly.
We're talking to Peyton Sweet, owner of Sweets Fabrication and a big brand online. You can follow on all the platforms at Sweets Fabrication. And we're talking about this brand building and we're talking about how intentional it was, how involved your wife is. What is next? I mean, you talk about kind of checking all the boxes, hitting all your goals. Does that mean you have to sit down and create new goals? And what do those look like for you?
Yes, 100%. So I have, it's crazy right now because throughout my whole entire experience doing this, I've had a goal and I've had a vision and I've had something I could visually see where I wanted to go. And now I'm at a point, so like I go out in public and I go to these public welding events and stuff like that, and people recognize me. And so social media is taking a turn that I never thought it would. So that's becoming its own avenue. And I just like, I think like that's the way to go is like, I'm really trying to push for the social media and I've started doing clothes. Never thought I would do that. So I started doing some like shirts and hats, but it's not going to be, I don't ever envision that being like a company,
Yeah.
like selling clothes. It's just going to be like an accessory that I have.
Yeah, you never thought you'd dance either.
No, did not.
So let's. So do you think that the brand, the online brand, I mean, is that a revenue generator yet, or is that
Yes.
going to become a revenue generator? And do you think it'll ever become the bigger part of what you do day to day?
Oh no, it is like, it's its own thing. Like it's honestly like holding steady with my business
Okay.
and
Now,
we're just getting started in it.
so what's weird about that to me is you almost need the business to feed the content,
Yes.
right, to the
If I don't do,
social.
if I don't do the business, then there's no content to be made.
Except
So
that,
it's like
yeah.
it can never be 100% social media. It's got to be 50% business, 50% social media, because people follow me for a reason because of what I do, my business, and I'm trying to teach people and I show people how to operate. My big thing is like I really want to show people that you can operate on a budget. You don't have to go spend so much money to get into this. You can get in really like with nothing. That's how I did it. I had nothing. And then I worked my way up and got equipment and stuff like that. Um,
Is there, so talk about the community aspect of it. It's like you said that you take it really seriously, that if somebody DMs you, right, that
yeah.
you respond. And not everybody
Yeah.
does. I could tell you,
And it's hard because like in the beginning, I wasn't huge and people would still reach out to me and I would respond to everybody. But now it's
yeah, it gets
to
tougher. Yeah.
it's hundreds. Like I would spend all night if I did it. So what I do is if there's like a very specific question, I will stop and help somebody. But if it's a generalized question, what I'll do is I'll make a video addressing it because it's the same question for 40 different people. I'll make a video addressing it and hopefully they follow me and they can see that.
Okay. Yeah.
But
So,
it's crazy
yeah.
too. In like these public welding events that I've gone to, I've had somebody come from Dallas to have a conversation with me because I didn't answer him. Like he drove to speak to me in person. I'm like, oh my God. I thought that was crazy.
You're going to have your security detail like Taylor Swift
I
or something.
know.
Look at you.
I know. It's crazy.
We're talking to social media superstar Peyton Sweet, owner of Sweets Fabrication, and of course, the brand online. What separates a good fabricator from an average one? What do you think is what is excellence in your line of work?
I'd say it's 100% like your attention to detail. That's going to be a big, big part of it. So like, say if you're building something and you want it to be square, are you going to get it square or are you going to get it an 1/8 inch off? Are you
Okay.
going to let an 1/8 inch go? That's what's going to separate you. And I mean, they've got their own different places too. If you're building something small that needs to be really, really nice, get it dead on. But if you're doing a giant structure, if you're an 1/8 inch, it's okay. But that comes with being in the business and understanding when you need perfection, and that it all ties in together
And how many times a week do you have to problem solve something you didn't see coming?
every single day, every hour. I dream about it every night. It's like, oh, okay, what can we do to do this and this and this?
So the things that just don't go to plan, you mean?
Yeah, no, they never will. I mean, that's the thing is if you get into this, nothing will ever go to plan. You can have a plan, but get ready to change it because more than likely something's going to happen.
What percentage of the job is physical? And then what percentage of the job would you say is mental?
Mm, I would honestly say it's 50-50. It's very physically demanding depending on what you're doing. There's some stuff that I do that's like super, super easy to do. But then there's some stuff that's like super labor intensive.
And do you have like a job that you look back at right now? And I imagine it's changed over time, right? But do you have one right now you just think, oh, that's the best I've done yet?
Um, there's a few, there's a few that I've done that I really, really enjoy. Like my first big carport that I ever did, it was I say big, it was like 24 by 24, but it was all big beams and it had a shingle roof on it to like match the house. So it was like perfect. And it wasn't purlin, it wasn't cheap material. It was all like rectangular tubing, fully welded out, like super, super nice. Like a very modernized looking carport.
So that's when you think back on. What do you think of now that you have this brand and you have people seeking you out for advice, seeking you out live at events? Um, in the overall picture, I keep hearing, we do Skilled Nation, and we're all about the skilled trades. And it seems to be there to me that there's this entire segment of young people that just kind of overlook these careers. And you
Yeah.
keep hearing employers talking about how, there's this huge gap. Like there are jobs and they don't have enough skilled tradespeople to fill them that are certified or that have gotten the training. And it seems like in high schools there's so many counselors that are just like pushing the college, like their life
What it's been
depends
for
on
the
it.
longest time. It's always been college, college, college. But I do think we're about to hit a turn. I think there's a lot of people, and that's the thing. It's like that's my job. My job is to show you that you can do it. And I think me and all the other influencers that do all of this type of work, they are like the frontline soldiers of getting people into the trades. I really do feel that way.
And so what's your message to like a high school student, like right now, thinking about they don't know what to do? I mean, what's the pitch for the
So
what's the pitch for the trades?
I actually work with the high school local to me. And so they have their ag mechanical program and I help out with that. And there's one of them that he wants to have a business like I do, but he also wants to go get like a degree. And I'm honest, like me, I'm steering him away from it. I'm like, don't waste your time. Like time is very valuable. Like go, if you want a business, you've got everything you need. Go do the business. Because the business degree is not going to help you in doing what I do. It just won't.
What about I mean, in just 5 years, you've built this life. You've met a lot of your goals to the point that you're now ratcheting your goals up from where they
Yes.
started. You know, can you say something about how the trades have really unlocked that for you?
It just,
Financially, personally, emotionally, everything.
oh yeah. I mean, I live comfortable. I'm very comfortable. Like I haven't really, like even when I said I'm struggling, I'm not really struggling. Like the money is 100% there in this trade. And it does a lot. It really does.
So what is the what has been the hardest lesson? And has it come from welding or has it come from entrepreneurship?
Probably the entrepreneurship, like the welding is the easy part. I can go weld for a company right now and it's fine. The entrepreneurship is definitely where you learn lessons because there's so much that goes into it. Like for you to be a legit business, like you've got to have your S corp or your LLC, you've got to be insured. There's so many different
Oh
things you've
yeah.
got to do. And then you get to a point where you're like an adult and you're like, hey, I want to buy a house. You have to structure your business correctly for you to even be able to do that. So
Yep.
there's so many hurdles and so many things you got to learn. And that's honestly something that I wish would be taught more in schools is how do we be adults?
Yeah.
That should be a class in
Yep.
its own.
Adulting 101.
Yes. That would
So
be great.
if you could sit down with you on day one at Tulsa Welding School, what would you say? What would the advice be, or what would you say to that, whatever, 5, 6 years ago self?
I would tell myself to get ready. Get ready because you're gonna get what you asked for, but it did not come easy. It did not come easy at all.
Buckle up. Okay,
Yes.
let's finish this up with some rapid fire. What's the one tool, any tool you cannot live without?
So I kind of have two. There's the Evolution chop saw. Love the Evolution chop saw. And then recently I got a stick welder that is battery powered. That thing is
Mm,
insane. I love that machine. It like that. So now it's like with prices of fuel being so high, I don't have to take my truck. I can take my wife's car and
yeah,
go do a job with my wife's car and save some money on gas.
beautiful. What is the biggest red flag in a customer that makes you think, "Uh-oh, this is going to be rough"?
Uh, if they ever tell me they've welded in their life, if they immediately lowball me, or they tell me that they were an engineer or an architect at some point.
Okay, yeah, yeah. They think they know more than you. What is
Yes.
right now the dream project you have your sights on, or that's living in your imagination that you want to make real?
I want to get a house with some land and I want to build my own, like my perfect shop. That's my goal.
Nice. I love that goal. What instantly betrays somebody? What tells you that somebody is just a grade rookie?
Mm, I would honestly like the way you talk and the way you hold yourself. Like
Really? So it's not the
there's ways
weld. It's the way they carry themselves on a site.
I mean, yeah, that's a thing. Like you can look at the weld and you can know they're not very into it, but there's a lot of times like my students don't like I'll say things in class and they're not 100% on what I'm saying. So like if they're not like I should be able to speak to you in welder lingo and you should know what I'm saying.
Got it.
And so that's a dead giveaway is if we can't communicate like that.
Speaking the lingo, most rewarding part of the trades.
The most rewarding part for me is that it's endless. Like there's the sky is the limit with this. It's gone places that I never imagined that it would go. And for that just to be an option is insane. Like that's the most rewarding thing. And like with the teaching and the social media, like it's hard because I've done this for so long. I've worked with a ton of companies. I get equipment all the time, and it's like I'm spoiled at this point, and I miss having that excitement. But I'm in a position now where I can give. I can give my time. I can give this equipment. I can provide for others, and that is like that brings me back and like just lights a spark in me again. So that is probably the most rewarding for me is make me being the reason other people get to do something, smile or learn.
And you've built this brand, Sweets Fabrication, and you put your, you know, blood, sweat, tears into it. What do you want people to think of? What do you want to pop into somebody's mind when they hear those words, Sweets Fabrication?
I really would say kind of like how I feel about my welding instructor. Like I just want them to see me as like I just want to be somebody that's there for them and like I'm here to help. I'm never going to be too big for anybody. Even the school that I'm at right now, like social media is growing, things are getting super super busy, but I will not stop making time for the students. That's how I want to be known as just somebody that cares, and I really want the younger generation to experience what this can do for you.
And most people aren't going to have direct access to you in person, so they're going to be able to get you through the socials. Remind us again where they can find you and what the handle is.
It's Sweets Fabrication on everything.
That makes it easy.
Yeah,
Peyton, this was awesome. I can't thank you enough for coming on Skilled Nation and sharing your story.
definitely. And I do have one thing. I do have these are the shirts I was telling you about.
Aha.
These are going to be dropping here in a few days.
All right. Social media, that where we're going to find them and be able to order them?
Yeah. Yeah. So what it is, like a performance polo type shirt. It's not a welding shirt. I
Okay.
built this for the business owner. If you have a welding business and you want to look professional while you're out working or going to speak to customers, this is what the shirt is for.
Excellent. Is
It's
that
got little like TIG torches, and let me see if I can put it up to the camera. It's got like TIG torches, stinger.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to know to look for it. It just looks like a pattern from farther away.
Yes, exactly. It's very discreet, but it shows you know a little bit about welding.
Very nice. All right. You can find that out on his socials. And for anybody watching or listening, make sure you subscribe, follow, and share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it. We'll see you next time on Skilled Nation.